Yeah, we gotta go. We gotta do something. How are you?
Did your family get through the ice thing?
Yeah.
How am I getting paid? Try out the training. He's about it. My kids try out. Always on one. And my kids are try out.
Really?
Yeah, you can do it. I'll say my forward.
But it's
I'll be your reference support.
Okay.
I got you.
I don't know.
That's what I'm saying.
I was there, 69.
Oh, yeah. I didn't go in until 1980. I retired in
Well, it's got a little different.
one tour. I've been around the whole time, I ain't been nowhere. I had both my business places last year, so I ain't been around a lot. They run around a lot. I'm around, we'll get down a little more now. My knees are getting a little better now.
I don't have any of that.
I've played for quite a while.
I'm sure somebody will fix it.
Yeah, I know, our kids, actually, we were here for one of our cooking. You were out then, and we were actually here this lady.
I tend to do that.
Well, you know what I live in, caller, you got my phone number, caller, can you?
While it's fresh, I should have played along. You know, what's that one?
Yeah, oh, yeah. I didn't, hey, you might. Yeah. That's what I spent about 7 or 8 months there. So, well, I didn't finish it. I got hurt and didn't finish it. It looks like I'm sorry, I continued on. I went found out what class I found. Yeah. Just work, retired out of the
That's the way it really is. Like you get it.
Oh, yeah. I didn't we need some more on the subject. Redundancy coming down. We're not getting water. Cheap. So, yeah.
Take it for cold out.
I haven't heard that still. I think I need to turn yours back. Turn your phone back to me.
Now we're getting 15.
But I don't think this will keep going yet.
You're like, I don't answer.
I just slow you down on pressure. I just call them. But it's built uses regulators.
We got several. We
Was it? Yeah, they had.
We got 2 25-gallon tanks.
The steel, they don't feel boiling.
100,000 gallons.
The steel.
A couple smaller ones.
They actually pulled the concrete. It's amazing about two
Appreciate it.
Yeah. The weather and stuff. Oh.
Where was this
I'm
built?
working on it.
This is over
It is like a box.
Yeah, I knew it was no elementary school.
58.
Okay.
There were three schools, Iowa, this school, and Comer School, were built the same, with the same rooms.
Gotcha.
Probably, except for this school too. You know, that came later. That-
Good.
How you doing?
All right, how you?
That came, that's when North Madison, and South Madison.
Young lady from the Journal. If you'd like to come up to the front, you might be able to hear better.
Was not the oldest, like 6 rooms.
You said anywhere you like.
And then the new school, so the same school.
Well, the story's always there with Comer and Culver were built at the same time under that dollar match grant that the state had in the early 70s or something.
I was a freshman. I was the senior when we moved into the new school, and I was a new old high school.
They built some lore that I always heard around teaching that they were on the Nelsons, put the money in the trust fund and put the money in the school. And that quote unquote built two of them.
They, I know that there was still 2 of them living. Comer, Comer still works against that. I mean, they walk through there, literally every week, they come visit.
The wheels are fun, when you read the wheels are fun.
If you ever didn't know, folks, you should
All right, we're gonna get started. Welcome everyone to the Madison County Board of Commissioners Agenda Setting Work Session, public meeting room, February 2nd, 2026 at 6 p.m. We will now call this meeting to order, and I will start off with the chairman's report. First off, I apologize, I didn't write nothing down. It has been a very chaotic day, in good perspective. But what I will report is, obviously, everybody knows about the ice storm of last weekend, the snowstorm of this weekend. And on behalf of the Board of Commissioners and myself, and Dr. Jody Goodrow and the Board of Education, I'd like to thank a few people. First off, we'll start out with the fire departments and the first responders. That is our unpaid professionals that do a lot of work for us behind the scenes, and we couldn't do it without them. Secondly, the EMS workers that had to pull 24-hour shifts through those storms, along with the deputies in 24-hour shifts during the storm. Our road department, who worked throughout the weekend, the tow truck drivers that was out there on the sides of the roads, and to the citizens of Madison County that stayed home, stayed off the roads the best they could. We are very thankful for that. We're thankful not only to Georgia Power making it through 2 weekends in a row of terrible weather, and we did not lose power. I think there was one location down below Carlton that lost power momentarily. I think it was because of a tree that may have fell, but Jackson MC had no reported outages, and that goes a long way to, to everybody and the preparedness that took place prior to that ice storm and the snowstorm together. I will tell you a little bit of criticism about the government being closed and the school boards being closed certain days, either whether it be last week or this week. There was 8 people on a text message, and between those 8 people, there was over 35 people on the road that we were getting feedback from at all times to make the decisions that we've made. And I entrust between the sheriff, the 911 director, the EMA director, EMS, road department, myself, school board, Jody Goodrow at the school system, that we made the right calls for safety. And no matter what one may quarterback Monday about,
the safety of our citizens is most important, no matter how many days we're closed. So we did not want to chance that. I do think the calls were correct, and I do applaud everyone in their efforts to keep Madison County safe. And thank you for those, if you're part of those crews that was out in the middle of the night, pulling somebody out of the ditch or responding to a healthcare emergency or, cutting trees off limbs. We really appreciate it. We really do. Thank you so much. So I'll close the chairman's report with that and ask for approval for the minutes from December 29th, regular business meeting, minutes from January 5th, 2026, agenda setting work session. Gentlemen, you have a copy of those. If you see no discrepancies, I would entertain a motion.
Make a motion for
Second motion.
Motion by Commissioner Doster, second by Commissioner Chandler. Any discussion, gentlemen? Hearing none, Commissioner Adams.
Yes. Yes. Yeah.
Yes.
yes.
Thank you, gentlemen. Business involving guest groups and multiple visitors. This one I've been waiting on for a little while. Madison County Food Bank, Miss Jackie Morris. Come on up, young lady. I'm excited about this one. This is good stuff.
All right, good evening, gentlemen. This is Christina. I hope you're all thawed out by now. I like winter, but it's time to go. And if the groundhog saw a shadow, he's going on the grill tomorrow, so. Okay. Our 2025 report for the Madison County Food Bank is as follows. Throughout the year of 2025, the food bank served 709 households, which consisted of 1,875 individuals. Of these, there were 754 under the age of 18 and 188 over the age of 65. Also of these numbers, 64 households had 2 repeated visits, 36 had 3 repeated visits, and 25 had 4 repeated visits, which 4 is the maximum to come to the food bank. We do 2 times in a 6-month period. And once a year, we serve 6 critically ill senior citizens who are on diabetic or, heart conditions and such that. So the first Monday of each month, they come in to get their food boxes. Each household is given about 105 pounds of food, depending on what we have in stock. It can vary throughout the season. Like in the summertime, we have fresh vegetables. Here lately, we have had fresh farm eggs, and absolutely thrilled about that. Each cart is enough to feed a family of 4 for up to 2 weeks. For larger families, we do add more food. We also offer clothes, household items, hygiene products, diapers, baby and adult, formula, and for the little ones to show up, we always give a small toy and a book. All of this is based on donations. We also have a variety of medical items. We have wheelchairs, crutches, shower chairs, etc. So if anybody is ever in any need, please send them our way. Our total donations for 2025 for food was $57,041.76. For clothes, it was $74,799.44. Non-food, which is like household items and such, it was $28,205.01. And cash or check donations was $75,696.40. Hunters for the Hungry program donated 777 pounds of venison, which is about $5 a pound, so that was $3,885. Our grocery bill at Marketplace for this year totaled to $39,167. For our senior bags, it totaled $905.13. Our Christmas shopping totaled to $9,954.39, so our total for expenses going out was $50,556.52. Now, this is what goes out of our account. This is not counting, this is what goes out to the community, I should say. This is not counting what we need at the food bank. Like, I need bags to put the certain things in, or, little till money is what you want to call it, I guess. And I want you all to know, everybody in this room, I want you all to know what a fantastically wonderful, awesome community you all have the privilege to serve. Because during the government shutdown, when the SNAP benefits were suspended, the Madison County community rallied the troops and came in by the dozens to make food or monetary donations. Schools, churches, clubs, businesses, families, and county employees all came in to help us fill our food shelves. And then they turned around and came back for Christmas to help us with our Christmas program. We were able to assist 71 households with our Christmas program. The children received toys, books, clothes, shoes, and winter gear, and we had a total of 190 children under the age of 12. Springhouse Farms, as we all know and love Paul and Ginger, held a fundraiser raffle to support the food bank. The Public Safety Department hosted a toy drive for us. And with these funds, we were able to make our Christmas program a great success. We sponsored out 45 children to local families, churches, clubs, businesses, and county employees. Once again, Madison County showed up big time. These folks were awesome and very generous with their giving. A few lucky kids even received brand new bicycles. Thank you to Chairman Higgins for being in the holiday spirit and getting the complex involved in a toy collection. The food bank depends on donations, monetary and material to operate so that we can help those in need in our community. The money that is donated from the citizens of Madison County stays in Madison County. Marketplace is very busy with us. Dollar General is very busy with food bank. Always has and always will. And Leanne and I, we absolutely love what we do. We enjoy coming to work every day. Thank you for your time. Hope y'all have a wonderful evening. Any questions?
I don't have questions, but I would like the public to stand and give that young lady a round of applause.
Thank you.
That is
I
awesome.
greatly
Thank you
appreciate it.
so much.
Thank you.
Man, if that ain't good stuff to start, we need to do those like more often. One of the things I wanted to note on that also is the fact that $39,167 went to the local grocery store. Not necessarily Sam's Club and all those other things, but right back local from the people, the locals that donated the money. Turned that dollar over multiple times, and it means a lot. I can't add anything to it. This is just awesome.
Thank you.
All right, Madison County Department of Family and Children's Services, Tabitha Willoughby.
Good evening.
Hey, good evening. Miss Jackie, if you'd like to leave, you can. If you're not, you can stay and hear the rest of this good stuff. Thank you.
I'm not going, I do want to hear what Ms. Tabitha has.
Okay.
Because we're kind of, we're kind of helping the same people.
Yes, we are.
Awesome.
The first handout you guys have is just a PowerPoint, is just some data. Our org chart is at the top. We still have one vacant position, which is our social services supervisor position. But outside of that position, our services department is full. We have 5 case managers, I have 1 tech, and I have my office manager. The data below is for all of 2025. It's the number of CPS cases we worked, family preservation cases, and foster care cases for each month. We've seen a spike in May in CPS and family pres cases, and that's usually what happens. Schools getting ready to get out, reports go up, so that's kind of normal and expected for May. The next page shows data for 23, 24, and 25. I just kept the 2 years just so you could kind of compare. There's been some increases in different years in different program areas. For 23, we've seen a total of CPS and family support cases. We had 162 cases in 23, 218 in 24, and then in 25 we came back down to 177. The next one is our screen out and refer cases, and that's essentially where, what that means is we received an intake and we don't necessarily respond. face-to-face. We just call the people or email them, see what type of services they need regarding the allegations that was in the intake, and we send them referrals, make counseling referrals, just different things, food bank referrals if they need that. We send them referrals. So in 23, we had 122 screen out and refers. In 24, we had 74, and then in 25, we had 118. The next page shows our family preservation cases. They've kind of increased a little bit. In 23, we had 18. In 24, there was 32, and then in 25, we came back down to 30. The foster care entries, so in 2023, we had a total of 38 entries. This is new entries, children entering care. In 24, we had 17, and then in 25, we had 26 that entered. The next one shows how many we had exit. The exited foster care in 23, there was 24 children that left foster care. There was 12 in 24 and 19 in 25. And then the next one shows just like how they exited care. You'll see the majority was reunification, which means they were reunified with their parents or their caregivers. And then the next one was guardianship. And the guardianship is usually, or it is always permanent guardianship, either to a relative or a fictive kin placement. And then we had 3 children that turned 18 and decided to sign themselves out of care. And we had 3 adoptions in 2025. The next page shows voluntary kinship, and voluntary kinship is where there's been some concerns of abuse or neglect, and the program, the family gets moved to the family preservation program, and the children are placed outside of the home, but the parents maintain custody. They just say, I would like the children to stay with grandmother while we work a case plan. So that's kind of been, we kind of have tracked off towards the end of the year. We haven't had any since July, and we had 3 in July. This time I decided to add some information from our Office of Family Independence, which includes TANF, Medicaid, and food stamps. So those are the TANF recipients in 2025. That's how many people per month received a TANF check in 2025. The next one, it shows the food stamp recipients in 2025. It's kind of went down a little bit, but it was going back up toward October and November. I don't have December's data, so I couldn't add it. I'll probably get it this month. Then the next one is active Medicaid recipients in 2025, and that has steadily increased since January. Then the other page, I wanted to point out how many applications were processed. And you have the monthly figures there, but I also wrote down a total. So in 2025, our Office of Family Independence case managers processed 57 TANF applications for the whole year, 1,313 food stamp applications for the whole year, and Medicaid, they processed 1,950 applications for the whole year of 2025. The next slide, also you have a handout. I gave you guys a handout. They're going to be changing. They're making a change to the SNAP program, which I'm pretty excited about. It's called On Demand SNAP, and SNAP is the food stamp program. The way it used to work is you would fill out an application. They would mail you an appointment for you to either come into the office or call in and do your interview for your SNAP program that way. So what they have now decided to do is once they fill out the application, they can come into the office and fill it out or fill it out online. They will then get to choose how they want to be communicated to, whether that's phone, email, or through the Gateway online system. And once they process that application, then they have a certain time frame where they get to choose. They can call the 800 number and complete the interview right then. So will be somebody answering it, and they will go through the whole process of the interview. Depending on household size, it can take anywhere from 30 minutes to an hour, hour and a half. But the thing that I like most about this is they get to pick whenever they want to call. So it works around their schedule. And if they don't want to have to pick and they want us to mail them an appointment, then they can choose that when they're applying or doing their renewal. So hopefully this will help the ones that we have noticed. There has been some times where they get the appointment date and time and it's past that. So hopefully this will help with that. And then it just has the dates that it's going to roll out. For February, it's going to be unexpedited applications for SNAP, which is the applicants that have income. For March, they're going to roll out expedited applications, which is the clients with no income or income is less than shelter expenses. And then in April, they'll roll out the renewals, and everything in SNAP can be worked through on demand. Before I move on, do y'all have questions about that? Okay. And I gave y'all flyers for English and Spanish. So the next is kind of the reimbursement for 2025. So the biggest pot goes to the foster children. I kind of broke it down in the first one, and it tells you exactly what. The Christmas gift was actually the gift that we purchased in December of 2024. It just finally, that money made it through our accounting office in February of 25. This year, we were very grateful. We got all of our children sponsored, so we didn't have to use any of the county funds. We got sponsors from different churches, businesses. I think there was like 82 kids, I believe, that was sponsored. So then the next one just shows you kind of like the amount that was spent in 2025. You see that for foster children, we spent $14,402.68, and then it kind of goes down from there. And then the budget request that I presented in August is also one of the other flyers you guys have. And I also gave our county budgets for the whole fiscal year. Currently, at the end of December, we had $5,286 left in county funds. I've not received the report out for January yet. I should get it sometime this week to know how much we spent in January to see what that number goes down to. But that's what we had left over at the end of the year. What questions do y'all have?
Good job, Kurt. Good report.
Thank you.
Thank you. And don't forget, she wants to talk to you.
Yeah, I just wanted to hear the report.
Thank you.
Now,
Yes, sir.
without me doing the math,
Uh-huh.
you got the charts broken down by the different programs. What would you just cumulatively add up, like number of families that get help, you know, on a monthly or annual basis? Just for everything.
I would say I do get those monthly for OFI, and I would say the majority of the families get Medicaid. That's our biggest program, so I would hate to estimate, but I know, let me look. Let me look this up real quick.
If those numbers is averaging around 200 per month for Medicaid, I think is what I saw in there.
Well, that's just application. So the active Medicaid recipients, which is on page 7, so in November, we had 5,522 people on Medicaid. So I would say we serve, if you add Medicaid, food stamps, well, that's not going to be an accurate picture, because a lot of times our programs, they are multiple, like the same people that's on Medicaid receives food stamps. Now, TANF, we never have hardly a lot. It never goes over 30, 35. I haven't seen it since the 2 years I've been here. It's kind of low. But food stamps, there was a decline, and I was talking to our OFI administrator because it was a decline in food stamps, which is kind of interesting to me because I thought it would have possibly been an increase. But I would say on average, they serve probably 10,000 in OFI. For us in the services side, probably not so much. I did print active totals. Right now we have 40 children in foster care, and we have 19 families that we're serving through family preservation. That unit, family preservation, is one that we see month to month. The difference between that and foster care is the parents maintain custody. And our investigations, they go anywhere between 10 to 20. Right now we're on the lower side. So I would say services probably serve 60 to 80 on a monthly basis.
So for the record, what's OFI?
Office of Family Independence.
Okay.
Sorry, OFI,
Okay.
that handles TANF, Medicaid, and food stamps. TANF, Medicaid, and food stamps. And then services is the Child Protective Services, so that's our CPS, foster care, and family preservation.
So what does TANF stand for?
It's temporary aid for needed families. It's, now it's like, I think it goes on like a debit card, but it used to be a check. There's certain work requirements that you have to meet to qualify to receive a check.
So in other words, so it's one of those things where they're working, but their income is not enough to support something.
Correct. And if they're not working, they have to show where they're spending 40 hours a week looking for employees.
I got you.
Thank you. Anybody else? All right.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Madison County UGA Extension Office. Travis Makersville. Hey, buddy.
How are y'all doing?
Good.
All right. I'll jump right in. I wasn't here a whole lot at the end of last year because I was on parental leave. But after I went through all my stuff, I actually did a pretty good amount on the ag side of things. Helped out with Harvest Festival. We always enjoyed doing that and going to that. Got asked to go to Whole Sanford Kindergarten Ag Day, take some livestock there and teach kids a little bit about livestock. I got to have the opportunity to go to a program in Hart County where I was asked to give a brief backyard livestock presentation. For people that were there, it was in Hart County, but it was through the NRCS, so there was people from all over. There were some Madison County people that were there to hear that. Other things, we'll move on to the facts side of things with Emily. She did some home canning classes with a lady homesteader group, including some hands-on pressure canning testing to make sure that everybody's doing the safe pressure canning techniques. One big highlight from the end of last year is that Emily completed her VITA training, and that's the voluntary income tax program that she is starting next week. So I think her first scheduled person coming in starts next week. So we are now offering that. I think you shared it, or the government complex shared it on Facebook. So we're excited to see how that goes and what that reach is going to be able to be. On the 4-H side of things, one big thing that happened, we took a pretty good group of kids to Cloverleaf DPA. And DPA is a project that these kids have something they're interested in, whether it be sports or livestock, or if they like technology, they could do a presentation on a specific piece of technology. But they're able to put that presentation together and go compete on the district level. And Madison County was it was one of 2 counties with 100% of the kids that went that placed first, second, or third in their category. So that was a pretty good achievement to walk away with that, all of our kids being successful at that. Some other highlights through our fundraising efforts at the end of last year. We had our fruit tree fundraiser, and we raised about $1,400 to go and support the 4-H program. A lot of that goes to DPA project achievement, It goes to camp scholarships, making sure that kids are able to participate. And then we also tried out something new for this year through Front Door Produce, where people could buy boxes of vegetables that were pre-packed, and we sold 22 of those our first year. It's about $200 raised, so we're looking forward to seeing that continue and hopefully grow in the future whenever we offer that fundraiser. But you have the rest of the report in front of you, and that's all I've got. Any questions or?
Gentlemen? Thank you. Appreciate it. Jackson Farm, Madison County Fire Association. Before you start, Jackson, we also have cat meals here because we didn't have it on here.
It is. It's after the zoning stuff.
Oh, is it? I'm
It's
sorry.
number
I thought it was in the public hearing. Sorry, I didn't look at page 2. Go ahead, Jackson.
All right, good evening. This first slide is this, I think most of y'all are aware of the training center that we have on Calvert Danielsville Road. This is just of our sign that's going to be placed out at the entranceway. But tonight I'm coming before the board to formally request assistance in completing this training facility. We've been grateful from everything that we've received from the board, but we just don't have the funds to complete the total project. So right now I'm coming to ask for $250,000 to construct the classroom and fire base training facility out in front of it. A lot of our challenges are because we have split site training. We have to have a classroom portion, whether it's at Hull, Danielsville, Shiloh, you have to host it, have a different fire station, then you have to come back to the training center to do the hands-on portion. Then you'll have to go back and break for lunch, or go back to the facility, do more paperwork, come back and complete it. So it just has a lot of, you lose a lot of time in trying to coordinate your training. We currently don't have proper facilities at it. We do have a porta-john there, but when you have 40, 50 people there, you don't really have enough facilities to host the amount of people that you're having, so it kind of delays the training as well. Not going to read every little line. I know y'all have the slideshow, so I'm just trying to hit the key points. But having this facility here will make it more efficient training to better serve our first responders and public safety that we have in the county. Recruitment's a big thing, so we'd like to have our new recruits. We've stepped up in the county. Now we require everybody countywide to do a Fire 1 class, which is now a 240-hour course. And I think the old one used to be around 116 hours. So our citizens have really stepped up in the amount of time that they're putting in to do this. A lot of our funding, key funding challenges is a lot of the ISO requirements, which that's for your insurance premium that you have. That training facility plays a big part in giving you the points to help the fire departments throughout the county keep the ISO rating low. If you didn't have that facility here, we would have to go outside the county, pull all of our resources to different agencies like we've done in the past. And then the soaring cost of equipment, that's just something all around the board, whether it's fire or anything that you're dealing with right now. Everything has just doubled over the past few years. Just some of the statistics. In 2013, we run 649 calls. In 2025, last year, we run 872. That's an increase in 34% on the calls that we're running throughout the county. In 2013, we had around 200 volunteers. Now we have about 165. So we're increasing our call volume, and we've decreased the volunteers by about 18%. But we're still able to manage and keep up with it. In 2010, if you bought a fire engine, a custom cab one, it would be about $350,000. If you bought one now, that same truck, you would be $800,000 plus. So that's a 129% increase. So we don't have the additional funds to put into the training center. A couple of these are just pictures, because I know y'all have asked pictures of what goes on in the county. Scroll down just a little bit.
This way,
No,
by the way?
that one. So that's our current training facility. The building that we're wanting to place will be directly in front of it in the picture.
And maybe you explain in short of what that facility will do for us.
That facility allows us to complete our state testing. You can burn in it. We have multiple props in there for confined space, propelling. It has a wide variety of anything we may encounter that we can train in a safe environment before we actually have to get hands-on with it. The next slide is just a group of our firefighters that took the 16-hour course after we got that facility online. There's 35 firefighters within the county that had to take a 16-hour course. But if you put a dollar figure to that, that's about $11,500 for 35 people to take a 16-hour course that we didn't have any expense in. The picture on the left is, oh, sorry, she's going a little faster than I'm talking. The picture on the left, that's just us outside. That's where we're having to do our paperwork right now. We have to complete everything outside on a windy day. It's not fun chasing papers at the facility. The one on the right, that's just us out in the community doing outreach at the schools, different stations through the county, participate with that. The rest of them are just different facilities. That one on the bottom left, that's Hart County, that's their Station 5, that's their training facility. I just have quite a few pictures of different facilities throughout our county or other counties, just to be in comparison with. If we're unable to acquire the funds from the county, the additional funds to do it, the only facility that we'll probably be able to purchase within the Fire Association budget will be a modular classroom, which it will not allow us to have the decon area in it to wash, store equipment, hoses. Then we would still have to facilitate some type of building for storage in it. To do that project, it'd be $115,000. I just don't think that's a wise investment or good stewards of the money. I think the next two slides are just the floor plan and the building construction. The current request amount is $250,000. The Fire Association still has $180,000 in the funds to go towards the building construction. The building size is going to be a 70 by 100 building. I think that's just skimming over the key parts of it. If you have any questions, I don't want to have to read it all. I think all y'all should have got it emailed to you.
But, so the total project amount is $600,000, is that right?
Yes, sir.
Where you got that? So that's even with y'all's money, and this the shortfall is there to build that building.
Yes, sir. So even after the $250,000 amount that we're requesting, the shortfall will still be $116,000. And the fire departments, all the chiefs got together a couple weeks ago and all agreed to put in $10,000 more to it to cover that. So you guys are going to cover the 116? Yes, sir. So we'll have $120,000 months to 12 departments.
About 300,000 total.
Yeah, that'll be what the Fire Association or all the stations throughout the county has put up towards the project. It'll be 300,000.
In 2 years.
Yes, in 2 years. Yeah, 180, 116, and the 53.8 remaining balance from the BOC. But the bad part is you can't really break it up and do it in different stages.
Yeah.
You don't have the funds to go ahead and do the plumbing, the concrete, and put a shell. You can do the plumbing and concrete, and then it's just going to sit there until said funds are available.
And it's probably going to go up.
Yes.
I assume by your floor plan, Jackson, is your intent, the steps going up, you'll have some type of mezzanine for storage or something?
That'll be for future use if we could, if it ever turned into something further in the county, you could put offices, but right now it'd just be storage. So as of today, between what you guys have collectively, what we give you, and what you've held over, y'all have $345,000. if I'm not correct. Gentlemen, I'll tell you, this would have been great prior to the budget, but we have found about 106, am I correct with that?
Yeah, 106, 106.
Yeah. We found 106,000 that was, I'm just gonna stop right there. Christina, explain how the 106 came, because it was a multitude of things.
Yes, so, originally, every year we budget, when we sit down and do budgets, our contract with the volunteer fire department is the value, we allocate the value of what we project one meal is worth. During the budget time, we projected that the one meal was gonna be $1.401386. And then after new legislation and laws, state laws come through with the personal property and that new exemption, that mill rate actually fell to what was it? It's below the 1.3 million, which is what our agreement was with them last year. So last year, Mike, we worked through drafting a new contract to include this facility, and that contract is written to whatever the value of one meal is or the previous year, whichever is higher. So we budgeted 1.4. This year's allocation is really going to be 1.3 that they all divide up. So that's where we come up with $91,610. And then
124,959 was that.
that's what the actual value of a meal is now this year.
The shortfall would have been 68,800.
So then the second part was, we've just been slowly going through all of our insurances and insurance policies, healthcare policies, and we finally made it to the cancer policy for the volunteer fire department. And we reached out to ACCG and compared policies. And I had a lot of questions because there was a big difference in price, but it was an apples-to-apples policy. And so that saved us $14,496. So we've already changed that policy to an ACCG policy, and that's already been paid for. So when you add those two together, that's where we come up with the 106.
And keeping in mind, that was
That's
money.
already been budgeted.
Correct.
Yeah,
That was the
budgeted.
money that was budgeted for the fire service to begin with. So we're actually, your request, in all actuality,
It's 143,890.
is 143,000, because by the savings that we already budgeted, you're not actually asking for 250.
And I think they've already encumbered what they had in the surplus from before, if I read his numbers right. Isn't that correct?
Yes.
You're asking for 250 above what's still in reserve or still out there.
In the Board of Commissioners Fund, we have 53,848.
Yes, an additional 250, however we come up with it.
Yeah.
Yep.
To make the 600,000.
Yes.
So at the end of the day, at some point, there's going to be a budget amendment
Right.
reflecting that 143 number.
And we would do budget amendments for these as well, because all of this, that yearly allocation and that insurance is budgeted in an EMA budget department line item. So we would do a budget amendment for that, just for what it's going out for. It won't move out of that department, because it still can be allocated to the fire department out of that department.
Yes.
In the budget, if that makes sense.
Which is a lateral transfer of funds.
But that 143, wherever the board decides to pull it, will need to be a budget amendment.
Jackson, the 600 grand, the total project amount are y'all confident that that's the all-in number? Is that grading, the utilities, is it, comms, getting to set everything? I mean, what's not in that, or what part of that includes 600,000 cash plus, in-kind labor, like, your whole team comes together and everybody's out there.
That should
digging.
include everything in the facility minus asphalting around it. I mean, we'll have an apron around the facility. But we already have GAB that we're currently parking on now. So the grading's already done, the lot's already prepped and cleared. All that was completed in basically phase one when the training center was put up.
And with the request that you got, with whether you shall, I've heard you mention, or I thought I've heard somebody say that, you know, all the stations agreed to put in a little extra, but it was gonna take approximately 24 months, 2 years to
No,
raise that cash.
that was over 2 years of what we have put in. We put in each station, which are 12 stations, if you include rescue, put in $15,000 in 24.
Yeah.
So that was 180,000. So we agreed to put in 10,000 for each station, and that'll make up the 120.
Upfront.
Upfront.
Yeah.
Contingent upon this meeting here.
So with everything said, let's just say, okay, when you hit 600 grand, how long is it gonna take to build this thing?
8 months to a year.
Roughly is, what, $85 a square foot for a chair. And here being the devil's advocate in this, Jackson.
Yes.
What you gonna furnish it with? Does that include your furnishings? I noticed you got, not a full kitchen, but a kitchen facility. You'll have to have some appliances in there. I assume you'll put an ice machine in here because of your training facilities and what goes on there. You'll put air compressors there to refill tanks that are expended during training exercises. Is all of that encumbered in your $600,000?
Yes, sir, minus the air tanks, which that's something the chief just.
They're not air tanks.
No, I'm saying the air compressor and the tanks, minus that, which the association currently on one that sits at Danielsville right now in the Kwanzaa hut, back behind the, the
So
old
you've
EMS
got
station.
something you can move over there.
Yes, when we sit down and talk about it, that would be the ideal place for that to be transferred to.
100%.
Because that piece of equipment there is about $30,000 to replace it.
So I think,
And we've also had people already donate a cooler to put in there, so we've had some other citizens step in and donate and offer items.
Okay.
And we've had people donate, the plans, all that, so we've had people stepping in and donating. The citizens has been good to us so far.
so I guess what Dennis and Commissioner Doster, Commissioner Adams is trying to say, is this a turnkey?
Yes.
Are we done?
So like I said, the only thing that's not gonna be is the whole parking lot's not gonna be asphalt, but we have GAB right there. We have the concrete down around our burning facility right now, which that was imported for that.
Now, let me just say, I know this seems like a lot of money and we keep adding and doing, but we're all volunteer fire department, okay? And basically EMS is, I mean, not EMS, but rescue is too. And, if the county had to pay for all this and pay the employees, there ain't no way to afford it, especially now that the state's talking about doing away with property tax. You know, we go back to the days that when I joined, we took a military truck, put a gas tank on the back of it, and had a 1964 Chevrolet engine on the back with a pump that come off of irrigation, whatever. So, and look, we got less folks wanting to be in the fire department because it's work. And you gotta have some dedication, and you've got, you know, these folks are giving up a lot to do that. So unless, you know, whatever the cost is there, we have to make some priorities. And as far as I'm concerned, you know, fire department and rescue is a priority. You need them all the time. You know, when your house catches on fire, every person that's in here in this room expects somebody to show up and do something. And right now, it's all based on groups of people that work their butt off to get there. Now, get some money from the county. We try to support it as best we can. But you know, I think, and what I'm really trying to say is, then we need to support these folks as much as we can. And when they're trying to do the training here, rather than go and pay somebody in Forsyth or paying other people to come and use their facility and all that, I think we just need to do it. So, you know, that's my little rant for today.
And I know I've stated this before, we're rapidly approaching the point where we're gonna have to make a decision collectively. And I'm not surprised, I am surprised that the state hadn't forced it upon us now, that the county will have to have a fire marshal, and we'll have to have a fire chief. And those persons, they may end up being the same person, but at some place, they're gonna have to be housed. This facility would be perfect for that, and that you've already got office space in. Another item that I might suggest that this facility could be used for, with the installation of an emergency generator, it could be used as a warming station for the county, which is something that we are gonna have to address at some point. So, you know, I don't particularly have a problem with if the number is 250,000, I think that we need to figure out a way to do that, but we also need to be aware that we need to have some contingency in there, because whether it's 3 or 5%, there needs to be something in there to fall back on when we get to the you know, because and forgive me, but in construction now, if the design team gets the address right to get you to the job, they've done a lot.
Yes.
You know, no offense to anybody at the table, but you know,
Well,
that's
that
what
first slide, that big address, that's why it's right there by the road.
But I think that we need to research this and figure out a way to make it happen.
I don't disagree that, yeah.
It does not have a backup generator.
Could be a-
Factor that in there.
Well,
I'm just making you
well,
aware.
that's what I'm saying. There's always going to be an
And we do have the association that is responsible for the maintenance and upkeep. They were getting 1% when we divided the fire funds, now we've moved that to 2%.
Just, I know this is a tangent, but how many, right now have the generator that they can use those as warming stations? How many fire department stations? I know Danville got one.
Maybe, it's just guessing, maybe 5 or 6 out of 11.
Yeah.
The only issue with a warming station at a fire station right now is you gotta have somebody there to man it.
That's right.
If you had a different building that you could have different people volunteer to be at, it's one thing.
Yeah, I understand there's complications with everything, but, you know, it's been said, there's things for us to think about it. And I don't disagree, a contingency on, you know, what could happen is probably a very smart thing.
You thinking, is this going to be I know you got split face block around it with metal up above. Are you thinking a red iron structure? Or?
Yes, sir.
I think that would be prudent. I think it would be much more durable.
And the span's too wide.
70 feet.
You get a lot of volume quickly with it.
So, just for clarity, again, the vote would be to transfer funds of 106, 107, and the vote would be to approve a 143. The transfer of funds of the first 107 would take probably during the budget amendment at that point.
The board would need to vote for the $250 amount, and then internally, when we
Pay
go to.
itself back in the amendment.
Yes,
Okay.
internally, we will do the budget amendment. When she presents all of them at one time to you guys, that will be one of those.
I just don't want the public to get confused when they read the newspaper and say that we voted to approve 250,000. We're actually approving 143 while reimbursing ourselves from other allocated funds.
Yeah.
So we didn't.
No, I do understand that, and that is.
So if that's the case, we can vote on this tonight if you guys are comfortable. If you'd like to sleep on it, give Jackson time to research a generator, we can do that and put it back on at the end of the month.
But just a question, so I've got everything, all the wheels are turning in the same direction for me. The structure is gonna be located on county property?
Correct. No,
Yes.
yes.
Yeah.
It is.
Maybe, yes, no, that's correct, yes.
If that be the case, then do we, in regards to the building of the structure, the contract to rent the structure, the maintenance of it afterwards, including grounds and interior maintenance, and with the thought, and here again, I keep going back to it, at some point in the future, we will have a fire marshal, we will have a fire chief that coordinates all the efforts of our volunteer fire departments. We'll have to have a line item in our annual budget for upkeep and maintenance.
At some point.
Well, no, I mean, that, we bill this.
Right now, it's up to the association to
Yeah,
keep the
right now, it's the association assumes all of
The
it.
current agreement is written with the live fire burn building. It is written that it is, we own it, but they have to maintain it. That's the way the current agreement is written. That current agreement doesn't go into this additional structure. So that is, you know, I'd have to sit down and get Mike and us to look back at that agreement, if that, how vague that verbiage is, if it would cover both structures. But that's how the live fire is we own it, but they have to maintain it.
Does this go within the fenced area?
Yes, this is on that same 2 acres.
Okay, and the fence covers that whole 2 acres?
Yes, sir.
Or would at least cover this part as well as the fire?
The fence that's currently there covers everything.
Okay, good.
We can vote on this tonight.
Well, I guess my interpretation of it would, I'm fully in support of it, don't get me wrong, but from a process standpoint, by the end of the month, is it appropriate that a proper budget amendment would be drafted that we can vote on, and any contingency language that needs to be, and then any communication that needs to be had? I'm all in, don't get me wrong, but I don't want to be here 3 weeks or, a month, well, what'd y'all say, what did we do?
Yeah.
I mean, it's-
What I can get, I would like for Susan, y'all to vote on a piece of paper that Susan does have that financial breakdown that shows you where all the money's coming from. It may not necessarily be a budget amendment because the way the auditors and finance work, that's a little different timing. But yeah, I would like for everybody to have that same piece of paper, and the public to be able to have that same piece of paper for the fund. But I do need to know, if you're wanting to do a contingency and what that contingency percentage is, or y'all wanting for Mike to take the agreement that we have and we change it a little bit for this structure too, that this is something that is on county property, the county owns it, with the understanding that in the future, the county is planning to hire a marshal to be housed in this building.
In regards to contingency, 3 to 5% is not out of the norm. I mean, it's by your schematic floor plan that you guys presented, it appears that y'all got it down where there's not a lot of frills and there's not a lot of bells on it. It's gonna be a functional space from the get-go. So, and like I say, that it's $86 a square foot, that's.
All right, Jackson, if you don't mind, we're gonna start an email chain tomorrow. We're gonna get Mike to send back out to the board what we agreed upon in the first section. And then people will chime in to doctor the second section to mirror the first section, however we see fit. We'll get it copied to you, you proofread it, get it back to us. We're gonna put this back on the agenda for, what's the date?
February 23rd.
February 23rd for a vote.
Okay.
Sound good?
And the total dollar figure would be 75% above.
Okay.
And I'm just gonna add, Jackson and Butch actually provided a lot of the information that goes in here, so if you guys could look and see, if everything we've said here in our current use agreement applies to this new building, or if we need to separate it out. But yeah, I mean, I'm glad to do it, but I work with these guys.
No,
before.
100%,
Come up with the right
no,
language.
I have no problem with that whatsoever. I agree with Christina and Derek and everybody else here. We need to be 10 years down the road, when somebody pulls a document, they should be able to understand what we've done in 2 or 3 different meetings.
And the estimate, and I say estimated, in part of the process, make sure we're understanding, you know.
Yeah, I would love to have
I
a piece of
just-
paper that we all vote on and say, this is what we're all agreeing to.
Yeah. Make sure that everything's, you know, any caveats we gotta get to build a building under Georgia Public Works Construction. I mean, if it's, or just gonna be handed over to an agency. I just wanna make sure we're doing it right, that's all.
No, I mean, and so the new threshold's 250 and this is 600, so it's gonna have to be good, you know. You're gonna have to count that into your time frame.
All right. Thank you, gentlemen.
Let me throw something in real quick.
Yes.
If you'll remember, our hazard mitigation plan that we approved last year, it has a program that helps us get generators for public facilities. I'll do some research into that, see if we can get a generator through the GEMA grant program.
Okay.
Thank you, sir.
And, there's also some LMIG stuff for the parking lot, so I can help you with that.
And we have to send this out for these.
Yes.
That's right.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Jack.
Thank you all.
Thank you.
All right, now we will open the public hearing for planning and zoning, actions on zoning matters.
I do have can I ask Mike a question?
Sure.
With this building, if they're breaking it out and doing it in different stages, it still needs to be done through a sealed bid process because it's the total project instead of splitting it?
Yeah, you can't artificially split things
Okay.
up to get under the threshold.
Okay. Just wanted to,
You can't,
I just wanted to
you
hear
can't say the
that.
plumbing's under 250 and the electrical's under 250.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Okay.
And correct me if I'm wrong, because we could hire construction management as a service though, and then be responsible in a design build, like a at risk type arrangement.
Yeah, that's your delivery method. I mean, it's gonna be over the threshold any way you do it, and you probably wanna do it as an RFP. But in that RFP, you could be soliciting for a CM at risk, you could be soliciting, you could hire an architect, and then the architect or an engineer, and the architect engineer would solicit, do the RFP for the contractor not at risk, or a fixed fee, or a GMP, or whatever you want to use. So all of that's got to be
Trim
decided.
it down as much as we possibly can.
So is this the Volunteer Fire Department Association building? This is just a county building, and does it matter? How all these details?
Yeah, that's what I want to put in paper, because my understanding, sitting in that office, this is a county building. This is the BOC's. When push comes to shove at the end of the day, that is our building.
So I guess what Commissioner Chandler's saying is you could do the budget amendment to add the additional funds and then decide all of this later.
Okay. The question was going through my mind then, and I don't remember how we handled the fire training facility. So if we're talking about having bid things out, if it's the volunteer fire department doing it, do those same rules apply?
Well, yeah, same, yeah. I mean, it's going on county property, it will be county property.
Well,
You know, some of the things like Dennis mentioned, you know, fire marshal, chief and all that, we need to proceed with discussions about that, but it needs to be discussed with the volunteer firemen and the fire association and all that, because it's a big deal.
One question to the public, I guess, just because he's sitting here. Gary Hartman, when you surveyed that, because Terry mentioned it a minute ago, I thought we surveyed out a portion just for that.
I think we made a 2-acre lot.
Correct.
I don't know who took ownership, I know it's rented a lot,
That
yeah.
front lot.
Who was that deed to?
It's still county.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But we surveyed it out, and we're just letting them use that 2 acres. Maybe we still retained it. is what it is.
That's exactly right.
Okay.
We
I
needed
just
a
couldn't remember.
survey so that we had a defined
Boundary.
lot that we were leasing, not really leasing, but licensing to the fire department.
And Chris, and I'm sorry, I'm not trying to get like every detail ironed out by I'm fine with moving ahead with the budget amendment, and that shows the commitment, and then some things would follow if it's to be determined, that's fine, time, those kind of things, but just, I just think that we need to, I was a little leery to do it tonight on the floor, is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah. I think the fire departments
I agree,
know
and
that we support them.
I mean, I would like just one very obvious question, like Commissioner Chandler asked, who owns it? I don't want us all to have different interpretations or understanding, because I feel like at this table, we don't all have the same understanding. There's no telling what out in the public, their understanding is gonna be.
That's not an interpretation, that's in the clerk of court's office,
Yes.
the county owns it.
Yeah.
We're trying to do this while operating from memory right now, which is a little dangerous.
Right.
Yeah.
All right, Mr. Scott. Cal, we're getting to you.
I'm good. First of all, good evening.
Hey, good evening, sir.
All right, planning and zoning, public hearing and action on zoning matters. Number one, Stacy Duffel is requesting to rezone his 7.35 acres from A2 to AR to bring the property into compliance with zoning regulations to allow an existing accessory dwelling unit to continue to be lived in by his son. The property is located on 1206 Duffel Martin Road in Como on map 3, parcel 17 in District 4. This one sounds quite simple, but it is not as simple as it sounds. I think that there was some misunderstanding in the beginning, and he's come back and trying to fix things that had to be done before this accessory dwelling could be done. And before I give you the rulings from the planning and zoning, I want to commend the members of the Board of Planning and Zoning that after all the discussion that particular night, we were under the impression that the owner had to live in the larger home. Well, after much discussion and all that, we found out that was not really the case. He has to live on the property. And the reason I'm saying I want to commend the Planning and Zoning Board is they didn't let it drop at that, because I got emails all during the week of different people looking at different things to make sure that we make the proper decision. So I want to commend them on that, and you have a very good Planning and Zoning Board, because they're not willing to just go home and sit down and leave things as they are. But anyway, after all of the discussion and the help from our attorney, the Planning and Zoning voted unanimously to approve this request.
Thank you, sir. Mr. Duffel, are you comfortable with that presentation? Is there anything you'd like to add?
I'm good with it.
Thank you, sir. Anyone here to speak in favor of this rezone request? Anyone here to speak in opposition to this rezone request? Hearing none, we will close the floor, bring it back before the board. Gentlemen, I entertain a motion.
I make a motion that we approve the request as, we just approve the request.
All right, have a motion by Mr. Kurtz, we have a second.
Second.
Second by Commissioner May, because I hear better out that ear, sorry. Any discussion, gentlemen? Hearing none, Commissioner Chandler.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
Motion carries, sir.
Thank you, sir. All right, number 2. Haley Carey, after for her uncle, Michael Carey, is requesting to zone a 5-acre portion of his 53.91 acres from A1 to AR to split and to give his niece for a home site. The remaining acres will remain in the A1 zone. The property is located at 3802 Highway 174 in Danielsville on map 49, parcel 22, District 4. No one came forward in favor. No one came forward in opposition, although there was one person that came forward with a question concerning the location of the driveway. That question was answered, and they were satisfied. Planning and zoning voted unanimously to approve this rezone request.
Thank you, sir. Haley Carey,
Yes, sir.
are you comfortable with that presentation? Is there anything like that?
No, sir.
All right. Canola, you must be doing a good job. Anyone here to speak in favor of this rezone request? Anyone here to speak in opposition? Hearing none, we'll close the floor, bring it back before the board. Gentlemen, I'll entertain a motion.
I make a motion that we approve the request.
Motion by Commissioner Kirk, do I have a second? Second by Commissioner May. Any discussion, gentlemen? Hearing none, Commissioner May.
Yes.
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 Yes. Yes. Motion carries.
All right, items 3 and 4, we'd like to bring before you together. Gary Harvin, applicant for Renee McKenna, is requesting to rezone her 10.62 acres from A2 to AR to allow a 3.127 acre split to be combined with her son's adjoining property for a total of 4 acres. She will retain the remaining 7.433 acres. The property is located at 517 Fowler Freeman Road in Danielsville, map 66, parcel 54, district 4. Gary Harvin, applicant for Andrew McCannon, is requesting to rezone his 0.873 acres from A2 to AR to allow a 3.17 acre portion to combine with the property for a total of 4 acres. The 3.127 acre portion will be split from his mother's adjoining property. The property is located at 469 Fowler Freeman Road in Danielsville on map 66, parcel 55 in District 4. There was no one that came forward in favor of, or no one came forward in opposition to. The Planning and Zoning Commission voted unanimously to recommend to the Board of Commissioners to approve this rezone request.
Thank you, sir. Gary, you have any problem with that, sir? All right. Anyone here to speak in favor of? Anyone here to speak in opposition of? Hearing none, we'll close the floor, bring it back before the board. Gentlemen, I'll entertain a motion.
It scared me a little bit when I saw Gary, but, now, I make a motion that, the, request both of these bills approved.
Motion by Commissioner Kirk, have a second.
Items 3 and 4.
I'm sorry, yes, I should have stated that. Taking up item 3 and 4 on one motion. Commissioner Kirk, second by Commissioner Chandler. Any discussion, gentlemen?
Clarification, the zoning request. Motion includes the combination of the two tracks, is that my opinion?
Yeah, cumulatively will be at 4 acres, right, on the non-conforming 0.87, yes, sir.
Yes.
All right.
We can phrase that as condition on combination in compliance with the site plan. You're not gonna, there won't be any deviations from the site plan, right?
No.
Okay.
All right, if there's no other discussion, Commissioner Kirk?
Yes.
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 Yeah.
Okay, number 5. Consider private cemetery request for Benjamin Hanley Jr. Benjamin Hanley Jr. is requesting to develop a private cemetery on his 28.344 acres, A1 zone property. It is located at 9896 Nowhere Road in Hull on map 28, parcel 018.3 in District 1. Mr. Hanley addressed the board and answered the questions. No one came forward in opposition to, and no one came forward for this particular plan. Again, this is not as simple as it sounds, that the staff and the planning and zoning did some prior work and had to do some things to
the applicant had to do some things to make this request possible, because we viewed it, if it came before the board, that it did not meet the criteria. So therefore, they did what they were supposed to do. The planning and zoning did their due diligence, so the board voted unanimously to recommend approval of this private cemetery request.
Mr. Hamlin, Jr., are you comfortable with that presentation? Is there anything like that? Sounds good to me. Anyone here speak in favor of this rezone request?
Really, that, all we're approving is just a site plan for the cemetery.
That's right. Correct.
That's all correct.
Anyone here to speak in opposition to this rezone request? Hearing none, we'll close the floor, bring it back before the board, gentlemen, I'll entertain a motion.
I make a motion that this request be approved as stated.
Motion by Commissioner Adams, do I have a second?
Second motion.
Second by Commissioner Chandler. Any discussion, gentlemen? Hearing none, Commissioner Dawson.
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
Yes. Motion carries, sir. All that hard work and just that quick.
What's that mean? He just, Mr. Chandler said he just approving the site plan.
But that's it, that's all we had to prove. That's it.
Yeah, that's all you had.
You can move on.
So if he dies tomorrow, we can bury him.
Correct. I hope he don't.
He's far away.
He's
Bedridden, he can't walk, can't sit up, won't eat.
sorry to hear that. Good man.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Canolas. Old business, consider an agreement between Madison County Board of Commissioners and Advantage Behavioral Health. If any of you all would like to leave, now would be the time. It's got cold now.
Fire went out, somebody else refrigerator.
Can't wait for that. I thought you took an opportunity to leave.
He said he did. As long as I got the world, I'm like, hey.
Then we got something on the grill.
That's right. All right. Come forward, Ms. Smith.
Good evening.
Good evening. Thank you for your patience.
Oh, absolutely. Thank you for your time. Evan Mills came before you all in December, I believe, and told you a bit about Advantage Behavioral Health in general. I'm Catherine Mills. I'm the Director of Addictive Disease Services, and I got funding to bring a 37-foot mobile behavioral health RV, basically, to Madison County. And it has been gutted. It has, the king bed's gone, the shower's gone. It is now a mobile clinic with an RN assessment room, a triage table, just everything that you can imagine that you need for a mobile services unit. And after the meeting in December, what the feedback I got back was, could I provide a little bit more information to kind of what we're looking at? And so I have done that. You should have the handout there. But it basically breaks down into the 37-foot unit. It's going to be for clinical behavioral health services, including nursing, a nurse practitioner via telehealth, individual counseling for those that need it, behavioral health services. There's also a specific track for opioid use disorder. It's called OBOT, the Office-Based Opioid Treatment. Not everybody that comes on the bus is going to need to meet that criteria. We're going to be able to serve a variety of people. In fact, we already serve about 800 families that come from Madison to Clark County. So we're going to be keeping them right here in Madison County. So that's going to reduce the barrier for transportation for people. But I basically broke it down into 3 sections: mobile treatment access, direct clinical care and recovery support, and overdose prevention and community education. The treatment access, since Evan was here, we've now hired the clinician. She's a LPC. We've hired the program manager, also an LPC. We are still looking for a nurse, and a nurse practitioner we'll share with the main clinic in Advantage, but again, it will be telehealth. And we have a recovery coach named Saskia Thompson, who used to be at Nucci Space. And now she's come aboard literally with us, but she's also a resident in Madison County, and she's super excited to be doing that. We are going to be providing all of the services that a standard brick and mortar could provide. In addition, because we'll have a licensed clinician on board, it will be a great opportunity for your emergency services, should they encounter someone having a mental health crisis or some other need, literally to connect with us right here. Right now, we're going to be in Danielsville, either right there at City Hall in their parking lot, or possibly over at the government facility center at Memorial Park. And I think y'all talked about giving us a 50 amp plug-in so we don't have to run off the generator. My ears perked up when y'all were talking about the generator earlier, because we can certainly run off of that. And the other really unique piece about this is we're not only going to be able to provide the clinical services and the recovery support, but part of our deliverables is to continue providing education and training. So anything from mental health to addiction to managing depression to I don't know, any other skill set that could help someone manage their lives in a way that they could be more productive citizens or more involved with their family. We're super excited about it. We've just put together a training through the Board of Education. We went over there and did a naloxone training on January the 20th, and then we're queuing up to do some education classes in the health department as part of the health classes. Not real in depth, just general. Be aware, be safe. Reach out. So I don't know, in the context of the entire proposal, if anyone has any specific questions, I'll be directing my manager who's over this, and I'm just super excited. We've been involved with the MART team, the SMAT team. So the MART is a Madison Area Resource Team, Sherry Deacon, and then there's a subcommittee into that called the Substance Misuse Action Team. And of course, I've been really involved with that. I think we started meeting everyone 2 falls ago, and the first event we came to was the New Year, New Me, which was over here at the gym. And we're about to co-sponsor that. That's going to be on February the 22nd coming up. And our official ribbon cutting for the mobile unit is going to be February the 8th. It's going to be right out there at City Hall. Commissioner Kevin Tanner is coming. A lot of press are coming to actually talk about the unit, and we are just super, super excited. And we're also working with a little bit with the Rotary Club. We don't have those dollars, but Sally Vanderstraten is heading up an education piece with the Rotary, and we're going to help support her any way we can and provide the naloxone and drug safes. So if you go to the doctor and you come home with a prescription, you can lock it up in a little safe and keep it away from kids or your neighbors, whoever. So we're excited.
Thank you for the presentation,
yes,
and thank you for the willingness to work. Mike has put in a lot of
thank you, Mike. We couldn't have done it without you. It's good to get a face.
It was a team effort.
Yes, it was. Yes, it was.
Christina was involved in this.
She was.
Bobby Smith was involved in this with the EMS.
Absolutely.
You, Mike. I luckily was enough just to read the emails bouncing back and forth. So I was able to
couldn't have done it without you, Chairman.
But good job, and thank you. But we will need a vote to approve this agreement, gentlemen.
Motion to agreement as presented here.
All right.
Approved.
Second. So I have a motion by Commissioner Adams, second by Commissioner Doster. Any discussion, gentlemen?
Other than recognizing there is a real need for this in our community overall, I don't think anything else can be said.
I agree.
We've got to be proactive because, and forgive me, but Athens is 13 miles too far away.
Amen.
For this service.
Amen. That's why we're here.
While we're in discussion, I will say this, and it really is a proud moment for me to sit in this chair, knowing what this board has done in 5 years towards mental health, towards substance abuse. I mean, we've been a champion of everything that's come across the board for our citizens, and it's really good to hear that how quickly I got a motion in a second on this, so thank you.
Thank you, sir.
For the purposes, I know y'all know this, but So the additional funding that's going for this year for $50,000 is coming from the opioid settlement fund. So this is not costing the county, it's making good use of those settlement funds.
And that ribbon cutting is
February the 9th, so it's a week from tonight, at 1 o'clock, right there at City Hall. If it's a rain delay, or not a rain delay, if it's raining, we're not gonna make you stand in the rain. We're gonna move it over to the IDD Center just down the hall. They have that portico, and so we can park the bus right beside it, and people can get up under that awning, for the cameras and things like that, so.
Any other discussion, gentlemen? Commissioner Doyle?
Yes.
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 Motion carries. Congratulations. And the actual park for the RV will be at Memorial Park. That is where we have the power. That is where we're installing 50 amp plug.
I wasn't sure where it went.
Well, we couldn't figure out a way to get it across the
Okay,
asphalt over there.
that's all right.
We got it here.
Okay, that's fantastic.
Paula's took care of it, and the young lady in charge
Alyssa?
of this project, been stellar to work with.
She's
So
done
thank
right.
you so much. So,
She's done right.
and I think one of our local businesses is actually wrapping the bus.
Yes, thank you so
Madison
much.
County.
You and, let's see, the Judge Cross, you both recommended him, so, yeah. So, yeah.
That's great. Well, we have a recommendation of a lot of people. Anything in Madison County, that's what we want you to support. Period.
Love it,
I don't care
love
who
it.
gives it, just as long as it's in the county.
Somebody will be back in 6 months to give everybody an update on the progress, so thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you.
All right. Resolution of the Board of Commissioners of Madison County adopting language access plan to authorize the chairman to sign, to authorize the clerk, county clerk to attest the resolution, and for other legal and lawful purposes.
This is for the 2025 CDBG grant for Griffith Lane, Shady Lane, Griffith Road. This is part of paperwork. We got to sign this in?
Thank you, I was lost. I was like, what is that? Mike?
Yeah, it's the first time I'm seeing it. It's,
So we do this is a form that we sign for every
Correct.
CDBG grant we do.
I'm not surprised.
Resolution approved.
Have a motion by Commissioner Chandler, second by Commissioner May. Any discussion, gentlemen? Hearing none, Commissioner Adams?
Yes. Yes. Yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
All right, consider beer and wine license for Commerce Food and Fuel LLC. I assume everything has been completed and
I
nothing
was
more
on the phone
needed
with
than
the
a
state today, they called, everything's good.
All right, gentlemen, I'll entertain a motion.
Yes.
Move approved.
Motion by Commissioner Chandler,
Second.
second by Commissioner Adams. Any questions, gentlemen? Hearing none, Commissioner Chandler?
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right, motion approved. Consider a memorandum of understanding between the Board of Regents of the University System of Georgia on behalf of the University of Georgia Cooperative Extension in Madison County.
This was on the, regular business meeting in January, end of the month for, considerations that made it to our next agenda, for discussions that made it to our next agenda, this agenda for consideration. The agreement hasn't changed, we still haven't come to terms on changing that open-ended, hardware, software portion of this, but just to get it off the books, I need an official vote, but it's not where we want it, it's not where county staff wants the agreement to be.
Yeah, I mean, I can't make anybody, it's your choice. Apparently, this is the take it or leave it.
Yeah, that's where we're at.
Yeah. I think y'all saw the email that I'd sent out about that, and that's the only way to change it is to bring the service in-house.
This is for the extension, I'm sorry, I'm back up. This is for the extension office.
Yeah.
This is the contract with them to facilitate the extension office. The county funds portions of, what Mike and I had found in that agreement, Mike, when we found it was open-ended, and we're providing IT support and software and equipment. That section of that agreement was open-ended, but it's written vaguely to where we would provide them what we would provide any other department, county department, nothing more and nothing less than. But there's no restrictions in that.
Yeah, just to back up a little bit on that, this board's been trying a few years now to get more detail and specificity in these agreements. This is one, when this was addressed, 2 or 3 years ago,
Yeah.
I guess, this is one, It's written on a reimbursement basis, so
Yes.
there's no dollar figure. It's basically just whatever is allocated to, as the county's responsibility in here, the county reimburses UGA Extension Service for it. That was a take it or leave it 2 or 3 years ago, and the county took it. The only difference between this one and that one is the addition of this IT stuff.
Yes.
So in addition to those bakeries, we also have, we're supplying these IT technology things, again, with no set dollar figure.
And that is how we operate now. The extension office is on a reimbursement. So they spend their money, then they send us the receipts, we reimburse them. We haven't had any issues. We haven't had any issues with the reimbursements, what the money's being spent on, staying within budget. We haven't had any issues with that.
All right. So, we haven't got to discussion yet. This is 1 year.
Yes, that's is that correct? This is a 1 year term. 1 year agreement, or is it more than?
I think this is annual.
Yeah. Yep, it is.
I think the last one I have on record that was signed was probably 4 or 5 years, before I started, so.
Yeah, that's the last one. The last one I found is old, that we haven't had.
2018.
So it doesn't even have a term.
So it seems like there's no budget then under the agreement, item 3, this MOU may be modified by written agreement of the parties here.
Here it is. So it basically, so it's on, page 4, Roman numeral 3, item 3, term is from date of execution until terminated by either party by written notice 90 days in advance.
So if we feel that there's an undue financial burden placed on us by this, then we terminate the contract.
Right.
All right, gentlemen, I entertain a motion.
Do we proceed with this agreement?
Motion by Commissioner Chalmers, second by Commissioner Adams. Any discussion, gentlemen? Hearing none. Commissioner May.
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
Consider intergovernmental agreement for municipality court services between Madison County, Georgia and the city of Hull.
This is another one that was on discussion 2 meetings ago. Staff and the judge recommend denying this, but in order to get it off of the BOC books, so we're at.
All right.
This is for the city of Hull. This is for them to utilize magistrate court to process their own code and animal control. They said they have their own person to handle those, so they want to use our court system. That's not how we do that. That's not how we utilize our magistrate court. All the cities that have animal control or code enforcement, field inspection, they use our staff, and those citations and fees come to us. And the city of Hull would like to do things differently.
So has that been communicated to Hope?
Yes.
So they understand?
Yes.
They're expecting us to not like this.
Yes.
All right.
I mean, that's my
Yeah.
understanding.
So,
I make a
yeah.
motion to deny.
That's my district.
Second.
All right. Have a motion by Commissioner May, a second by Commissioner Kirk. Is that what I heard?
Other way.
Oh, all right. Motion by Commissioner Kirk, second by Commissioner May.
To deny, to not.
Yeah, to deny.
Not enter into this
Not
agreement.
deny.
Not in an agreement. All right, to deny. So the motion's to deny, first, second. Any other discussion, gentlemen? Hearing none. Commissioner Kirk.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
Consider deeding parcel located at Matico Park, track number 2, to the Industrial Development and Building Authority. This was the parcel, Commissioner Duffy, that Gary came in and found the meets and bounds to be able to get a wellhead protection, get sewer in it, or, I'm sorry, setbacks met, and still have something marketable. And David Jones is here in case we need him for any reason. But it's Mike's opinion that the IDBA needs to be the one selling it, so that's why we have to deed it to them in order to be able to put it up for sale.
Yeah, this came over to the county as part of the quote water assets because it was just one lot then. But there's developable portion, so that's what you're going to do back to the IDA.
All right, gentlemen, I entertain a motion.
Move to be approved as presented.
Motion by Commissioner Chandler, do I have a second? Second by Commissioner Adams. Any discussion, gentlemen?
My only question, and it may end up making a change, but, any concerns with future definitions of wellhead protection? Should we limit any activity within that?
It would be in the, every one would be different, but it would be in the contract, in the buyer's agreement, to note that the wellhead protection, and therefore they could, dictate. I do think the IDBA is gonna come up with a rule like what was in the nineties that gives you a buyback power if somebody doesn't build on it, but I think they're gonna have some kind of oversight to protect that wellhead provision.
Well, I guess right now there's definitions of what wellhead protection means. EPD could change that tomorrow after we deed this property away.
Correct.
And, we might lose,
So-
some concern or some enforcement of the wellhead protection. So I'm okay with selling the thing that's marketable. I agree with that idea, but I'm just wondering if we should hatch out the wellhead protection and defend that via deed versus.
Yeah, I see
definition.
what you're saying. I just asked for a plat, so I
Sure.
could do the description. I didn't look at that part, but I see now looking at it, so the well is this portion up near the road.
Mhm.
And this radius is the 100-foot radius for wellhead?
150.
150, okay. So that's the 150 for wellhead protection, and part of it is being deeded away, so, yeah, you're right.
As part of the sale agreement there, because I'm somewhat familiar with this property, there is sewer available there now, and rather than allow the use of a septic system or a drain field, it could be a stipulation on this parcel that it has, and that would address wellhead protection.
What could be that, or, just, storing material on it? I'm just trying to make sure that right now we're saying the wellhead protection is the wellhead protection, and everybody agrees right now today that we all know what that means. Tomorrow, when the deed transfers and the property sells, an EPD or APA or somebody else changes what the wellhead protection definition is, I don't know if they're gonna backtrack to, 2026 and say, wait, that was the definition at that time, and protect it that way. And since it's going to be on a transferred asset, I'm just saying, do we deed restrict that similar to,
I think you can, and I do concur. Well, the sewer's a little complicated there, but not a big deal, but it's more the storage and or use of the property, more so than just the sewer. We can add that to the deed. Right now, we can just vote, to move it over, and we can always do the deed.
I'd rather bring this back at the end
You
of
can,
the
don't
month,
mind.
that's all right.
All right,
I withdraw the motion.
all right, we're gonna pause this one. No worries.
it may be over conservative, and I'm sorry.
It's
but
not,
just
I don't think it is.
my brain works.
Essentially, wellhead protection, basically an easement that's outlined on a piece of property.
It
And
is.
in this case, it's gonna take up a third of that tract.
That's right.
Correct,
Is that,
and it can never be infringed upon. And EPD is the ones that monitor that, we do not.
Infringed upon how?
Huh?
Infringed upon how?
Any of the activities that are prohibited within the wellhead
Right,
protection
but
area.
That's what I meant.
Parking, building, and that type of stuff would
Yeah,
not be.
you probably know those details.
Yeah, you can set a building right in the middle of it.
Yeah, that's
as
what
long
I'm-
as it's not
so
gonna
that- yeah.
contaminate the wellhead.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got you. No, you're fine. All right, we'll put that together in a deed. All right, gentlemen, moving on, so we're gonna table item number 1. Discuss staff moving forward with amending the alcohol license ordinance to include wedding venues and private event halls.
Yep, so this is where we've had a few event halls, wedding venues reach out to us about wanting to have a beer and wine license. We've talked to Mike a little bit about this. The ordinance right now isn't written that way to where we can have issued them a license. That's what we're asking. So with wedding venues, can we move forward to try to mimic what the state has and put some extra parameters on to where we can issue license to a wedding venue?
So this just means that we're gonna look into it and.
Yes, that's what I'm asking the board collectively as a whole, is that before I go spend a lot of time doing that, are y'all comfortable with me moving forward?
I'm good.
So this will be a new class of license?
Yes.
Okay.
And, based off the two big venues we have in the county, one in Comer, one in Daniel, those are the two that comes to mind.
And that, yeah.
I mean, I could see where that would be very beneficial to their venue, because currently they're having to contract that service out, which is legal, so they're already doing it.
Yeah.
This will just keep the money in-house versus out to an outside
They're having to
contractor.
do it to hire somebody who didn't have the catering license.
Yes.
Correct.
We have that, but we
Yeah.
don't have this.
Correct. So, yeah, it's a win.
Would this alter their requirement that they have to have some qualified law enforcement
Yes,
on site?
that's one of the requirements that we will implement.
So
if
that
we
will
can-
not change.
Yes, so if we can, it will change, as in now it will be required, to where currently you don't have to, is my understanding. When they have, over a certain number of people, they do not have to have law enforcement on scene. So where, what we want to write is, so many people with alcohol, you have to pay an off-duty officer to be there.
I think it's required. Like at the chamber bank, they always have somebody there.
Yeah, yeah, they do. But I don't know that it's,
Well, regardless, the question tonight is to make sure that we're comfortable with y'all spending the resources necessary to bring a recommendation back.
The only question, and this is, I hadn't really thought about this, just to make sure we are thinking, venues like this are liable to be anywhere.
yes.
We're not talking about on a main thoroughfare or.
Correct.
So we just want to make sure we're thinking through that, to make sure you
Yes.
want to allow that in every corner of the county. 'Cause
Yes.
potentially,
Yes.
Well, the only thing that we have jurisdiction over is outside the city.
Correct.
That's correct.
Correct.
But it doesn't
We don't
have to
have-
be a business located on a state route. Is that what you're saying?
Well, venues have to come to us for approval anyway.
They gotta have something, they're gonna have to have the license, right? To do it.
Yep, yeah, and the licensing stuff would be the same.
Yes, they'll come, yeah, they'll still get a license from us,
Yeah.
but right now they don't.
Venues are permitted uses in certain zoning places.
Yeah, in certain zoning
So it's-
classes, but every venue that we've seen come before, it's had to come before the board of commissioners to approve the venue and or the drawings and or the site plans.
If it had to be
If it
rezoned.
It had to be
rezoned.
rezoned.
Yeah.
Well, even if it's not rezoned, we still have to see the site plans.
We
Well, no.
approved spring house.
Yeah, that's right, we did.
My ignorance, and here again, just to bring me up to speed, how do they do it? How do they serve alcohol at a venue that's not licensed to serve alcohol?
Catering license, yeah.
Yeah.
Catering license.
But that's what Chairman was saying, they have to hire a caterer who can get, because we have a catering license, but we don't have a license for the venues to own to provide the alcohol directly.
And I see some venues that probably still do that, because they're not.
Yes, we don't,
So is it a separate set of guidelines for someone like a venue, so then they can't, so can they, or we just prevent them from being like a package store when they're not having an event?
they would have to carry two different types of licenses.
Well, that's what she's saying. Y'all will explore and develop an ordinance to take care of it.
So it's, yeah, I want to be very clear that it's separate from the Golden Pantry or.
Yeah, it'll be in that ordinance. It'll still fall under our whole beer and wine ordinance, but the class, the type of license, so right now that we have 5, so it'll be number 6 or F or whatever it is.
This would be a
Type of
by the drinking license, I assume, right?
It would be, because if not, it gets into distilled spirits, and then you can also, essentially, we're putting conditions, we're limiting.
What we have now is either they have to be a manufacturer or a store or a restaurant.
Correct.
To have it in the county.
And or have a catering license.
Yeah.
So
And
this
we-
gives us
yeah.
restrictions by having this.
Yes.
To require police, require the
Yeah.
tax office. All right, thank you. All right, yeah, just,
Okay.
y'all look forward, we look forward to seeing a copy of it. Discuss discuss House Bill 581. We're not gonna discuss House Bill 581 because we found out that is just if we wanted to discuss opting in. If we're opting out, we don't have to, or if we're leaving the opt-out, we don't have to do this again until 2027. But while we're on that topic, public's sake, don't buy into sound bites on TV, because it's not what it appears to be. Wolf in sheep's clothing on this property tax thing. Ooh-wee.
The state says you're gonna get all the same services you have now, but not have to pay tax.
Your county tax is just on.
All right, consider appointing Cynthia Fortson as District 5 appointment to the Planning and Zoning, and all this is she's moving seats, correct? She's moving from the county appointee over to District 5 appointee.
No, she's moving from District 3 appointee to where she actually lives.
Okay.
5.
All right,
But it does, I mean, it's not just it is a full appointment
it is.
in terms of the length of service for that.
Yes, sir. So I would need a motion for that.
I'll make a motion to approve this.
I have a motion by Commissioner Doster, second by who? Second by Commissioner Kurt. Any discussion, gentlemen?
Just for the board, I talked to several people, some were interested, time commitments and whatnot. Cynthia, I spoke to Cynthia, and she was, graciously wanted to continue the service, in support of, she enjoys it and putting the time in, so we appreciate her due diligence and her effort to continue with that service.
All right, thank you. So in that consideration, that means District 3 now has a seat to fill on the planning and zoning board. Once again. Hang in here, you'll be gray-headed. Any other discussion, gentlemen? Hearing none, I think it's on you, Commissioner Adams. Yes. All right, discuss transferring the water tower located at Highway 98 to the city of Daniel.
Did everybody vote?
I did.
Yes.
Yes, I thought I did. I don't know, I'm tired.
You got 3, keep going.
I got 3.
I wasn't sure what was happening.
Oh, man. Yeah. All right, so discuss the transfer of the water tower Danielsville, located on Highway 98. This is the one beside the EMS station. And we talked about this a while back. And basically it boils down to, the tower is not active for the county. It's on a different pressure system than what the county's set on today. Danielsville needs to reserve capacity, because they're ever growing and they have more coming, which is a good thing for them. They will be required to not only take over current maintenance, upkeep, they will also have to run about 800 foot of water line to connect it, even though we're connected on the other side of the road. Together, the county is by way of a meter there. Today, it's of no use to the county. If we do put it back online, in which we can, there's ways to put it back online. We would still operate a little bit different because of the pressure and the pump system, when really by putting it online, all we're doing is giving Danielsville redundancy by having that tank there. And if they're willing to have that redundancy on their dime and their upkeep, it's a win for us because it's an insurance liability for us. So again, this is just for discussion. Their board has already voted to take it if we want to give it to them, or there at least is a consensus amongst their board to take it.
For them to operate in its current location.
Correct. Yeah, oh yeah, yeah. And is it, that tank and their other 2 tanks, one at the high school and the one at Northridge, is all the same level, same as actually the one at Matico and the one at Coma. But since we've all split up a little bit, even though we got interconnectivities, we got intervalves, it's a lot more difficult for us to regulate the water at our elevation that we're currently at, on the pressure system that we're currently on, without making it a standalone system. We are doing something like that at Matico currently as a standalone system for redundancy there, getting that tank back online. But again, for redundancy purposes, we've got to have water turnover about every 72 hours. So you need a city to be able to turn at least 3 to 5 feet of that water over in a 72-hour period. But it will give them, I think that tank is a 250,000 gallon tank, and it's just that much more capacity. We currently sell water to Danielsville, but if any of the new apartment complexes catch on fire, based off the 250,000 gallons, it may be 300,000 gallons we currently have. You're talking about a 2 hour heat in there out of water. Even though we can pump it to them, we just won't have the volume. So it's a win-win for the county. In my mind, and I spoke to Mark Perry, who's the mastermind behind all this, not this particular topic, but saying yes, it would be the best move for the county. I spoke to Rodney, I spoke with the mayor. So it's up to you guys. We can retain it and keep it empty, or we can give it to them and they can put it back online.
Well, I guess that's the question is, I mean, what, here it says transfer, and so, I mean, what I'm hearing is somebody's gonna operate it, so is this a lease agreement? I mean, what's?
No, we just give it to them.
Would it be
Well, there's
better
value
for
in that we're,
Well, the value in it to the county is we take it off our insurance. It's very expensive to insure a water tower.
but there's a piece of property that sits underneath it, so, I mean, what?
Well, the piece of property that sits underneath of it is about the size of that fence. It's probably about, less than 1/8 of an acre or something like that. We have a plat showing it. It's small.
I'd like to see more information about it.
All right. I mean, I know we have a hard time giving over property, but it's.
Or if there's a different avenue that's more appropriate, just to grant them a lease, for nothing, or at least no charge.
I mean, you can do a 100-year lease, but then you're gonna be, I mean, whatever you wanna do, is you're just trying to clean your books up. And the fact of the matter is if this building catches on fire, I hope to God that water tower's full. Cause it ain't gonna be full as long as we own it. Because it won't work. We'll overflow it by some 20 feet. And the reason is because the tower in Hull is way over height. So, I mean, yeah, we can look at it. I mean, if you got Q Public, I wanna say it is like 1/8 of an acre, Mike. I mean, it's small.
Yeah, I was pulling up Public, but I can't figure out what to put in to look for it.
1501,
Yeah.
1501.
Highway 98.
And actually where it's sitting is on the property line beside that guy's house. So it's not like it would be impeding any future building that may go there.
1501 Sanford Road?
No. That one is so hard to find over there.
Okay.
I would just do Crawford W. Long and use the map.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And go over.
But it's really on the property line. So if it's stuck out in the middle of a property, it would devalue the rest of it. I totally get it, because then we would have to be concerned with what we build around it.
Do we ever buy water from them?
We sell Danielsville water.
And it's in the city limits? Or
No, it's in the county.
Not in the city limits?
No.
Okay.
But it's in their service delivery plan.
Gotcha.
So they service all the way to the food bank.
Gotcha.
Okay.
Yeah.
Remember,
1424.
And what is that, 0.1?
0.22.
0.22, so a little bit less than a quarter acre, adjacent to that line.
quite a while ago when I worked with Mark, we talked about this, because it ain't never been really any good to,
Well, it actually was in service, but until we changed the pressure zones.
on it.
Well, the issue was we have water towers of varying heights above sea level in the county. And the direction we're gonna have to take in the county is gonna be, forget about the water towers, pressurized zones.
Yeah.
Yeah, but currently you got about, and I'm not trying to make it worse, but right now that water tower right there is gonna cost you about $1.5 million to build it. It's also gonna cost us about $500,000 to tear it down. So we just let it sit there and rot, keep paying insurance on it. We pay somebody to take it down at a large expense, or we give it away to somebody that we can to benefit us all, city and county.
Well, at the end of the day, though, if it's gonna cost $1.5 million for us to build a water tower, then it's gonna cost Danielsville $1.5 million to build a water tower. In regards to this building burning right here, I'm looking through it right now, I don't see a sprinkler head in this building.
Well, the problem is with that
rationality.
I mean,
If you look at those apartments right down there in Danielsville, every one of them people pay county tax. This is not a city-county thing. Ain't got nothing to do with it.
At the end of the day, though, there's some inherent value to that water tower standing there. If it's of no value to us, but it's of value to them, let the lease agreement be that they'll pay for the insurance every year on it until such time as our system develops and we may find a need for it. And then it would be a shared use. That would be the logical way to it.
So you want them to run an 800-foot of water line, them tie it together, them pay insurance on it just so they can use our empty tank?
They need water to supply for their continued expansion and development of the city of Danielsville, which, if I recall correctly, we approved 52 or 55 acres right in this area right here that they wanted to annex, which I assume will be built out at some point. Then they're going to have to find water in reserve somewhere for that. Is that not an accurate statement?
And coming to some kind of agreement with us is a lot less expensive than a $1.5 million water tower for home.
I mean, if we were talking about apples and oranges here, guys, I would get you 100%. And I agree with the logic behind it, except for the people that live in the city of Danielsville are county citizens that pay county tax. And the least we can do for a city, that's the more people they put inside that city limits, the more tax dollars this county collects in T-Splosh. You help your cities grow so your county stays rural. If I gotta give them a water tower to do that, why wouldn't you?
And what I'm hearing, nobody's arguing the value of it to the city of Danielsville. The point that I would like to make, I think of what I'm hearing, is there may be a better avenue for all of us in general, instead of giving it to them, coming up with a solution like potentially a lease agreement that would allow them to use it, get all the same benefit, but at the same time, preserve an opportunity for it to potentially be of value, continue to be of value to the county, if the need arises. The water tower doesn't move, it doesn't go anywhere. We just talk about potentially a different type of agreement as opposed to just gifting it.
Y'all do whatever you want on this one. I get what you're saying, but you got an 800-foot water line, 12-inch main, you gotta run, you gotta put expense in. You are on a pressurized system buying water from Elbert County unless you're gonna build a water reservoir in Madison County.
We all know that's not going to happen, Todd.
Exactly, but you're always gonna be on purchased water, which is on a certain pressure that takes that tower out of the equation. You just said it, we all know it won't happen. So you agree with me that situation will be empty until we're all dead and gone.
Hey, well,
That's all I'm saying.
I think that Derek has to get more information. So
That's
maybe
fine.
what we can do is get more information and then.
All right, sounds good. All right, moving on. Urgent matters. So this wasn't for tonight anyway, it's discussion. Urgent matters. Executive session, discuss real estate acquisition.
I got.
Oh, sorry. No, we're still on urgent matters.
I know. Are we gonna have one where we can talk? We got
No,
a
not
couple
on
things.
tonight's agenda, it's not on tonight. You got some stuff?
I got something I just wanna know.
Sure, we're on urgent matters, you can do it.
All right, I guess this is, I'm not gonna run this next time as far as, I'm gonna finish out my term, but I'm not running, so anybody that would like to seek the 4th district, go for it, all right? And, I'll try to, any knowledge I can help you with, I'll try to give you some background and stuff like that on the 4th district. That's welcome to anybody, but, and so, good luck. And then I got one question for you. Well, it's on my mind, because if I don't, I'll forget it. Christian. So, the rec department, as far as the board up there, have we got that, has that been voted on and settled? Have we got those folks for this year settled?
Appointments, I think
Appointments.
either Derek or Frank. Frank has one to appoint. Because we
Okay.
just appointed the lady, so we do have a vacancy on the board.
Okay, so now, but then they told me that, Allison's, was up, which I'm gonna renominate her for that.
Okay.
So I didn't know if that had already, that I missed the meeting and it had occurred or not. So
I
we're
don't
gonna
think,
take it
I
up
don't
in the
think
future.
so, but I'll
Okay.
follow up on that.
Okay, because I know, I'm waiting Frank is,
It's almost like, you know, for somebody to be at one of the highest places in the county on elevation, it always needs to roll downhill to Frank. I don't know why.
Frank's just over there where it's rocking and rolling in the whole side now.
Anybody wants to be a volunteer to serve? Hands in.
Yes, sir. Well, I know y'all are talking about urgent matters to y'all. And one of the urgent matters I'd like to get resolved is please put somebody on the P&Z board. We need to have a full board, and we need to make that a priority.
Okay, well, now we can after tonight, because now we went from 3 to 5, and now we know 3's open, now we know who to look for.
But
We'll
the
move
60
forward.
days for Frank to nominate someone from his district. After he can't get somebody from his district in 60 days, any of y'all can nominate from anywhere.
They just filled out an overflow, just nice on that board. All right, executive session, discuss real estate acquisitions, personal matters, potential litigations.
No, sir.
Christina, we beat it by an hour, just so you know. Adjournment, Commissioner Dawson. All right, thanks, guys. Oh. Christina said it'll be 9 o'clock, we all get out there tonight.
Canoas handled the zoning so skillfully. It didn't
Yeah.
take long.
Right. We have to thank Travis.
Took forever to get there.
Go get Frank, yeah, I gotta go take her.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I'll send it to you tomorrow.
Your official paparazzi now? I wrote some over, but my house, and they and I'm melting some today.
That brings up where Terry lives, that first 200 foot, slick.
Okay, fake here, though.
That's what.
Well, you know what's crazy is DOT ran out of salt.
Well, I mean, it's gonna.
Ice storm?
Yeah.